Mark Leibovich is the chief national correspondent for the New York Times Magazine. He is in Washington. Mark, good morning.
Hi, Charlie. Good to be here.
Is this conflict at its core more about style or more about content?
As far as the Democrats go?
No. Donald Trump and Paul Ryan.
Donald Trump. Yes. I think it's about both. I mean, this is essentially, this story will be driven today by what Paul Ryan says at the end. I think Paul Ryan is obviously getting some pressure, especially from his caucus, to come around and just support the presumptive nominee. At the same time, and we don't see this as clearly, he's getting a lot of pressure privately from pretty prominent conservatives, I assume Mitt Romney is among them, to really hold firm here because Paul Ryan is really the front lines or the last sort of line of defense for actually the never Trump movement in so much as it's ever existed at all.
Mitt Romney stepped up the heat yesterday by saying that Donald Trump's refusal to release any of his tax returns is disqualifying. Donald Trump would be breaking with 4 decades of precedent on this matter. Could this be very tough for him?
I think it is. And I think, look, Mitt Romney is serving what I think is a pretty precise purpose here, which is he is kind of taking the role of the conscience of the Republican, not so much establishment, but just the Republican nominees past. And the thing about the tax issue is Donald Trump has said that most Americans don't care about this. I think that that's true to a point. It's arcane. I think tax returns are the kinds of things that make people's eyes glaze over immediately. But at the same time, it's a nagging issue. It has gone on for a long time. It's the kind of thing that muddles the kind of straight-ahead tone that Donald Trump likes to assume. So in that sense, it could be very problematic.
Well, medical records. What about medical records?
I mean, medical records also. I mean, I guess a few months ago he released that completely superlative-filled statement from his doctor. But yes, again, these are two kind of lingering spring issues that you don't want them to sort of bleed into the summer, especially in an election like this.
You know, he's just announced he's going to start a fundraising campaign. He spent a lot of time saying, look, I don't need anybody else's money. Do you think his supporters are going to care about this, Mark?
I think this is probably less of a big issue just because I think people understand that in a general election, I mean, we're probably talking, into the billions, and no one would, whether Donald Trump has that money or not or would be willing to spend it or not, it's the kind of thing that most people would sort of assume that when you have one of two candidates, you're going to sort of round up, as many supporters as you can. So I don't think that will be a big issue. But again, it sort of takes away that message.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, everyone.